Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're back again. We get another dragon from Tarkir Dragonstorm. And we're going Jeskai today, and we're looking at Shiko, Paragon of the Way. 2 red and white for a 4/5 Spirit Dragon. Flying and Vigilance. But whenever Shiko enters, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard, copy it. Then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So basically you've got a Reanimator that just brings back anything that's 3 or less. That's a permanent. Okay then. Yeah, and non-land obviously. Yeah. Actually, it's actually target non-land card with mana value 3 or less. So, yeah. We can do quite a lot with this, I feel. So here we go. There's only one way to play Shiko in my mind, and you gotta blink them in and out. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like. Before I go any further, there's quite a few of the cards in here that are game changers. So this probably is around about 4, but it's not what I'd call a solid 4. It's probably what I'd call a solid, so like 3 coming into 4. But anyway, I'll just point that out before we go any further. So, using Moxfield, first card that comes up, Dak Faden. Got to have the greatest faith in universe in this deck, haven't you? We want to nick people's artifacts. It's all good with us. And obviously, if it gets killed off, you get to bring it back with Shiko. So can't complain too much. We have got creatures, 21 of them, starting with Charming Scoundrel. Lovely blink target. Comes into play. You can get a treasure token, or if you blink it in and out. Wicked tokens, or if you need to discard and draw a card, if you've got a handful of lands, you can do that. One of the new cards coming in from Tarkir Dragonstorm is going to be the Devoted Duelist. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this basically pings everybody for 1. And you should be able to do that reasonably regularly, because we're only going to really topping out at 3. We've got a few above that, but most of our creatures and permanents top out at 3. So it should be fairly easy to cast 2. The other one, I'm hoping we're going to see some more of these. I quite like the look at these. This is another new one from Tarkir. Fortress King Guard. When this creature enters, it endures 1. So you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you can have 2/3 if you need a blocker. Or you can have it endure and it gives you a 1/1 white spirit creature token. Now, I haven't seen many of these spoiled yet. And if any more of these come in and they cost 3 mana or less, we want to take some of the creatures out of this deck and put these in here, because I think they're going to be quite good if we're blinking things in and out. So bear that in mind. Keswick Flame Breather, you can pick whichever one you want, but non-creature spells deal 1 damage to each opponent. That's fine. Ledger Shredder makes an appearance here. Casts whenever a player casts a second spell each turn, we get to connive, so a little bit of fodder for the graveyard for Shiko. Feeler Exorbitant Shepherd is also in. Attacks, exile 1 other target non-land permanent, return it to the beginning of the battlefield in next end step with a +1/+1 counter on Feeler. Alright then. The Spirited Companion, little bit of card draw, and another new one that comes in from Tarkir. Tagum, the Master Opportunist. Now, I may be looking at this later on as a deck on its own, but at the moment it's sitting in here quite nicely, because casting our second spell lets us copy it. It gets exiled with time counters on it, so you're basically going to get it twice. So, yeah, okay then. Wall of Omens, bit of card draw, good blocker. Abu Ancestral Echo is also in, just so we can pay the mana to blink things in and out if we need to. Claim Jumper makes an appearance to get some lands out of our library. Flicker Wisp is obviously one of the traditional blink creatures. Then we've got Cura, the Rising Tide. Draw 2, discard 2. So another way of getting things in our graveyard for Shiko to bring back. And hopefully we can get an attack in with this with 7 or more cards in our graveyard and get our nice big 8/8 legendary Octopus in play. Lauren of the Third Path to blow up those annoying artifacts and enchantments and help your person who's behind like you are out with some card draw. Mirror Entity is kind of our win condition. Get our creatures into play, and then we're just going to sink all our mana into this to make all our creatures as big as possible and hopefully just punch through. Maybe. But still, it's 3 mana and it will come back with Shiko. Reflector Mage is just a perfect target for any blink spells we've got on our hand. Return target creature to its owner's hand, and that creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. So, slow your opponents down. Spell Seeker's in. Go and find an instant or sorcery for 2 or less mana. Now, I will say that on MTGO, this is still quite pricey. It's fairly pricey nowadays, and real money as well as like $18 you can see here on the screen to my that way somewhere's at the bottom there. Even on MTGO though, it's sitting around about 11 tickets at the moment, so if you've got one, great. If you haven't got one, replace it with something else you'd rather play for 3 mana. Vega the Watcher also makes an appearance. It casts a spell from anywhere other than our hand, we draw a card. We've got a little bit of way of doing that, but I want another flyer, and I figured we might have some way of doing this. Wall of Denial, just a big blocker. Flying, Defender and Shroud, 0/8 will block most of the big stuff, including some of the dragons we're going to be seeing. And then a couple of ones who are above the 3 mana limit I tried to put on the deck. Brago had to be here, it's a no-brainer. Likewise, Thassa, Deep Dwelling had to be here, another one that's a no-brainer. Sorceries, just the 4. Faithless Looting to draw a couple and discard a couple, and the Flashback to get more fodder in the graveyard for Shiko. Jessica's Will is one of the game changers I was talking about. It's here, we like the extra mana and the cards we can play. Savine's Reclamation lets you bring other creatures, things back from your graveyard if you need to. And if this spell was cast from a graveyard, you may copy the spell and choose new targets for the copy. So, you know, originally 1 back, pay 5, get 2 back, fairly good. And a little bit of board control with Wrath of God just to blow up all those annoying creatures so they can't be regenerated. I prefer Wrath of God over some of the other options at this slot, so hence why it's here. Now we have a lot of instants, and you can see we've got more game changes coming up. So an offer you can't refuse just to shut down annoying spells. Cloud Shift blinks, condemn targets and removes. Enlightened Tutor goes and finds you an artifact of enchantment. We have got some coming up, so hence it's a game changer. Ephemerate to do the blinking along with Essence Flux. Mystical Tutor goes and fetches our things that let us blink. Again, game changer. Path to Exile just for a little bit of more removal if we need it. Boris Charm just to really shoot that 4 damage we need, or give all our permanents indestructible, which is the main thing I've got it in here for, I'll be honest. Counter spell for a bit of board control. The other game changer, Cyclonic Rift. It's a blue deck. You're going to play it. Flicker of Fate to do the more tricky exiling and returning. Lightning Helix for some damage and life gain targets. Mana Drain for more board control. Momentary Blink to, well, blink things in and out, really. Chaos Warp to deal with that annoying permanent your opponent's got. Or if you're desperate, put one of your lands into your library and see what you hit. Displace is also coming in. Exiled up to 2 type creatures you control, then return those cards to the battlefield under owner's control. And Ghostly Fickler to do 2 of the creatures, 2 of our lands, or a combination thereof. The ramp is all coming from Artifacts land. I'm really sorry. There's another deck where you can't really use, well, you can't use green or anything else, so I tend to go heavy on the Artifacts in these sort of decks. So we've got Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman. Elixir of Immortality does make an appearance to stuff everything back in if it goes pear-shaped, however. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, the Medallions, Pearl, Ruby and Sapphire, the Talismans, Conviction, Creativity and Progress, and Thought Vessel, just to make sure we can max our hand size out if we have to. And then we have some enchantments. Artist's Talent's quite nice because it gives a way of discarding things when we cast non-creature spells and drawing a card. If we can get to level 2 up and cut the cost of those things down, even better. Gossip's Talent, you don't need to use level 3 on this, just so we're clear by the way. Gossip's Talent's also in. Creatures enter, we get to Surveil, and whenever you attack, target attacking creature with power of 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. Now, can't use it with Shiko, but a lot of the other things you can. And then if you get to level 3 on this, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, you may exile it, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Yeah, happy with that. Nice little blink effect permanently. A bit of more protection with Ghostly Prism and Propaganda. But we have got Mirror Maid in here, so we can copy someone else's Soul Ring, Signet, some enchantment we really want on our side of the board, so that appears today. And 2 more cards that go above our 3 mana value limit. We've got Teleportation Circle to just make sure we can blink things out every turn. And Whirlwind of Thought. We are playing a lot of non-creature spells in this deck, and this helps us just keep our hand full of stuff so we can draw it as we go along. Lands-wise, what you would expect from a blue, red and white deck. Nothing particular fancy. Arch of Elkanza, all the sack lands, all the dual lands. The cycling lands are here. 4 islands, 4 mountains, 3 plains, just so we're different. Cycling lands, Reliquary Tower, you know the score. You know what's going to be here. There's nothing really much to say about them. But that's it. This is the latest of the Blink Commanders. with Shiko following that lovely trail we've had recently of blinking commanders. Must be, it's quite nice to have one in Jeskai, give you a few more options. Quite like that idea. You know, everyone gets a bit played against Braga and Abulu at the moment. So, yeah, this one's quite nice though, especially the ability to sort of like reanimate, for want of a better word, some of the things from your graveyard. So I'm looking forward even more now to Tarkir Dragonstorm hitting MTGO in a few weeks' time. Yeah. Anything I've missed out, please let me know in the comments down below. I will always read the comments and I always try and respond. Please hit the subscribe button if you can. Hit the like button. Share the video, even better. If you want to see me play the decks I've been talking about this week on the channel, come and follow me on Twitch. There's a link down below. And go and follow my nice little Moxfield thing. You can see all the deck lists come out. You'll get some sneak peeks of some of the videos because that's the thing I'm using now. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll see what happens. Then maybe one tomorrow. Depends if I get the time or not. But for now, take care, everybody. If not, I'll be back on Monday with more Tarkir. See you then. Have a great week. Bye.